Hi, Danielle.
What's happening?
So Danielle, hopefully it's on some kind of speaker mode that you can see. It's me talking. It's Alex from
I
Six
see you.
Seasons in a Podcast. Do we do a Zoom? Yeah, we did a Zoom together. We did the Zoom rather
We
than just
did
a
a
call.
Zoom, but we just used the audio. But
Okay. Yeah.
the lovely, I forget her name right now, but she was on also.
Oh yeah.
Jillian.
Jillian was on with us.
Jillian,
Yeah.
right.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I invited a whole crew for us to chat with because there are, I think we mentioned in the community, in our conversation, there are like 12, 13 other community
There's
podcasts.
18 podcasts. I don't know why y'all keep saying 12. There are 18 podcasts.
Okay.
I stopped counting at 12, so that's why.
Yeah, my brain doesn't
Every time
work
you
past
say
that
the
number.
number, a new one is born. So
Yeah,
you're never fully correct.
It's worse than Beetlejuice because he only shows up after 3. So yeah, we're well past that. There's
This is
18
not
active.
surprising to me at all that there are 18. I
And
would think
none of
there'd
them
be
are
even
alike.
more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I invited, there's even some folks from the community Discord. There's a Discord, if you know what Discord is. It's Lena, why don't you explain what Discord is? Since you're our
I would
representative.
say it's basically like, if you know what Slack is, it's like Slack, but not for work. So basically just like, there's a giant like Discord server. There's like 4,000 people in it. I know that sounds like a huge number, but there's really only like probably a few hundred like active people who actually like talk. But it's basically like, you know, there's lots of places for us to like talk about the show, but also just like hang out and like discuss other things as well.
Gotcha.
I don't really know how to explain. It's basically just imagine like a huge group chat, but it's like organized in different like sections, I guess.
And
I feel like you explained that beautifully for someone who didn't know how to explain it.
Well, she's
sorry, people talk about things other than community. That boggles my mind.
Whoa, that's crazy.
But,
there's like a channel for, it's called media studies for like movies and TV and like music. There's one for all the Discord like podcasts, obviously, or all the community podcasts, obviously. And there's, I don't know why I'm blanking so hard right now.
there's the table read.
Oh yeah, there's the table reads.
They do table reads, Danielle.
Oh, you guys
I'm
do
like
table
also on
read
the table reads. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we
yeah.
do.
My God,
Every
I
week,
love that
every
so
Saturday,
much.
there's a table read like of an episode of Community. We've been doing it since July 2020, pretty consistently. So I think it's pretty like, we started with Advanced Dungeons and Dragons when that episode got taken off Netflix. And then we just kind of kept going. And we have people like, we have a whole team of people who are like transcribing episodes and like then proofreading the transcriptions. And then it's like, okay, now we have to like put out a ping and like ask people who wants to play who. And, you know, it's this whole system.
Oh God, because you guys obviously wouldn't be able to get the original script. So to get the lines, you have to
Watch the episode.
There is a copy of the entire closed caption available online. So
yes, but it doesn't include any of the stage direction.
Correct.
Or like any of that, like the extra details that you would need to sort of, sorry if there's noise in the back, to like, you know, properly convey like what's happening on screen. So we have to do it all ourselves basically.
And the music cues. And then people will also do covers of the songs.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I need to see that at some point.
There are a couple of them on YouTube. There's like a YouTube channel. We stopped uploading them we stopped uploading the audios like a really long time ago, but there's like, they do exist out there if you know where to look. I guess I could like try and find it. I think
And different people play the different parts every time.
Yes.
Yep.
You cast it and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even like the small ones. Like recently there was one for recently I was just trying to schedule one for basic lupine urology, which is the Law and Order one.
Oh yeah.
But I fell asleep and I ended up not actually like hosting it or anything. But we rescheduled it for this Saturday. And we had to, you were actually in the episode, your character, Vicki, has one line and I chose to, so with some of the small roles, we have multiple people like doing multiple small roles because it's like only a few lines each. Oh, sorry. That's
of course, that would make a lot of sense for a table read. I had one line, but I was like kind of important in that
Yeah,
episode,
that's-
guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You could argue that you
I
were the reason the
mean-
entire thing happened. If Vicki
Yeah.
hadn't been failing her biology class, then fabulous Neil wouldn't have stepped in and been like, I boiled all the yip, you know?
I did it for love.
Or if I wasn't so hot, he wouldn't want to have sex with
Exactly.
me in the basement.
Parents'
Definitely.
cabin. Yeah,
right.
let's.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, God.
At
All right,
the end, it's
so-
all about biology.
My parents' cabin.
I'm cheating. I have every word you've ever said or said about you in a text document beside me. So
You and I got to chat and had a lovely conversation. I got to ask you questions. So I helped set this up so that all these folks can ask you questions. We're going to try to do that somehow. And it would be really hard for me to introduce all the folks, but we'll do that somehow. And so if anyone wants to go first, why don't you do that now? Who wants to go first?
Since I can't see anybody else, can I go first?
Yeah, go first. Yeah.
I am Matt. I help run the community's Twitter account. I am not one of the podcasters of Community. I just hang out with them.
Gotcha.
Happily.
The communities. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I always see you guys. I mean to say that.
He's the godfather of the community podcast.
You are the man behind the curtain, so it's
Yes.
nice to see.
I'm one of two, but yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So go for it, Matt.
Well, what else was I supposed to say? Oh, I get to ask
Answer
the first
questions.
question. Oh,
Yeah.
well, good.
I thought that's what
you said in Alice's podcast. No, I thought you were doing the introduction part.
No.
You said in Alice's podcast, which I listened to again today. That's how OCD shows itself. That they didn't listen to you about certain things about the character. So there's limits to what they were allowing you to do, or how you're. You said you something about making suggestions. You said, well, they don't listen to me. I think it was just offhand comment to some degree.
Oh yeah, it was kind of an offhand.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But I was gonna ask. But you played Vicki, so what do you feel like you brought to shape the character? That's really the question I thought of.
I feel like I think I said it before in the podcast. I saw Vicki as sort of a person who was a little bit on the outside all the time, just trying so desperately to get on the inside. And every episode they wrote sort of echoed that. And that's what I thought from the very beginning. And it was just sort of like, she was just always trying to like find her way in somehow, whether it be, to sort of, try to talk to them or try to like go against them in some way. She was just trying to do something to make her voice known. And I feel like that was the deal from the very beginning. And from the very beginning, she was sort of the butt of this terrible, I don't know if it was a joke, but like, Pierce was horrible to her from the very beginning. So she sort of was this person who was like, you're not going to bully me. Like, I'm just going to like try really hard to get in, but she wasn't mean about it. She was just sort of like, hi, hello. That's that's how I saw it. I don't know if, and that's
tell
what I
my
tried
story.
to bring
Yeah.
to it.
No.
Yeah, I was about to mention geothermal. She was like, my name is Vicki. Tell my story.
Right.
And the fort is collapsing.
100%.
Also, I just found the YouTube channel link, so I put that in the chat. Sorry.
Okay, great.
Awesome. So next up, maybe we'll go with Katrina from Quirky Pop.
Hi.
Hi, Katrina.
Hi. So I don't have it's not a community per se podcast. I talk about just like quirky characters from pop culture and stuff. I did a community episode, and I don't know. I talk about community and Doctor Who a lot because that's like what I live the most. So it comes out on episodes on other things. But anyway, with my question, one of the things that I've kind of said online is like with the fandoms that I really love, I love when they come out with books. So like I love the Monk series, and they have like novels, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if Community came out with their own like novels or graphic novels? And like one of the things that I thought would be cool is if they could just talk about the backstory with some of the other characters. Like I always want to know what happened at Vicky's party. So if you could like write that, like, you know, what was it like? What costume did you wear at the Halloween party? Like, did you sing a song at the piano? Did you talk trash about the study group? Like, how would you like set that up?
Oh man, Katrina. Okay, no. All right. So you mean the Halloween party that they were all going to? What episode was that where they were going to the Halloween party?
Season 4, episode 2.
When they went to
Paranormal.
Pierce's house and Pierce set up that trap and stuff.
Yeah, I remember the episode, and I remember them being like, "We have to get to Vicky's Halloween party."
Yeah.
So I think that Alex and I discussed this a little bit in our podcast. Like, I definitely think that there was something about Vicky where she also loved pop culture, but also I don't know. I think she had a thing for musical theater because I had a thing for musical theater, and then they sort of knew that, and that's why I think they had that thing at the end where I was able to sing and do that thing with Garrett. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I know that they thought that I could.
The one-woman show,
and I love that. I saw that episode today when you were singing. You were like Starlights. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. You're a great singer. But sorry, continue.
No, so I think that like she was definitely in some like Broadway costume. If I had to guess, maybe it was like, and maybe this is like more movie musicals, but like maybe Judy Garland with like some ridiculous, you know, like short blazer that she shouldn't have been wearing. I don't know, something Broadway, Broadway-esque for sure. And what was the other question? What do you think went on at that Halloween party?
You know, like just like what type of, like, would she have been singing Broadway music there at the party, or was she just have been trying to be cool and
totally just trying to be cool? I think it all comes back to truly just like she has her own thoughts, but she's very calculated in how she's like trying to get in. So, you know, like she's just constantly trying to assess the situation, be like, how can I infiltrate that situation right now? She's a little bit of a wannabe, but also has some really interesting individuality that I think, because like she's grounded in certain things that she loves and certain things she believes to be true. But she has like this romantic side because, you know, she and Neil, so that like opens her up a little bit, I think. But in the beginning, in that one episode of Paintball, I think I said this with Alex too, is that when I say you're the worst, and Britta says she is just trying to fit in. I mean, that's truly what I was playing the entire time. Every episode I tried to say something, they would cut me off, or they would, you know, so it was like she was just trying to infiltrate. So I think at her party, it was like a lot of people pleasing and a lot of like, you know, everything was laid out. There was refreshments, there was beautiful snacks. Everyone was having a good time. And she was sort of like, can I get you anything? Can I do anything? Can I, blah, blah, blah? You know, like, I think that was sort of her, that's who she was. It's one of those people that like, they're trying to do all those things. It's kind of like, maybe this is a bad example because I'm not remembering the movie perfectly, but like Reese Witherspoon in Election, like where it's like this, and then she can get really mad and angry. Yeah. It's kind of like that a little bit. Did that happen in Election?
Tracy flips.
No, you answered
like
it
flips,
perfectly
right?
well. Like I would love to see something like that or read about it.
I would love to do something like that. Yeah, no, it would be great to explore these characters and all of the things. I always said that I thought that they should have had their own little like web series with the show, because we all sort of talked about how cool that would be, because so many fans wanted to know what's going on. What are Vicki and Neil doing, and what's Magnitude up to, and what are these guys doing? So I just always thought that would be a really cool thing to explore. If
I could, and just purely because this was my question, and I feel like
I was going to ask you guys next. So
go
ahead, Bo.
I'm Bo from the same Greendale committee. I just wanted to ask, you know, like if Vicki and Neil spun off, like what would that look like in your head? Like what would be your ideal scenario?
I think they would, I would have it take place during the, you know, either the college years, like sort of as the show's going on, sort of that simultaneous time, or I would have it happen right after. And maybe they're just like in that very young 20s, early relationship. Maybe they live together, and all the ridiculous situations that the two of them could get into. I mean, that's not super specific, and I hate that, but
I mean, people meeting at a community college doesn't sound like a fabulous idea, but we all came together for it. As I hit my microphone, I'm so excited.
Totally. Well, so I guess like the hook, there needs to be some sort of a hook, and I haven't really given it much thought, and I would like to actually, now that you brought that up, but I definitely, let me think about that for a minute. But but something, the two of them are a couple, and I actually just think that if it happened at the same time the show was going on, if it was supposed to be just like the mirror image of this other group, I think that would be really interesting, because the show already has so much, obviously so much of a fan base, whatever. So that takes away it needing to have some ridiculous high concept idea. It sort of can just like be like, well, what's going on the other side of things? That's what I sort of see.
Danielle, I think when you and I were chatting about this question, I think we came together, or maybe this was my pitch, but Vicki's a high-powered CEO somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Like
I think that's how she ends up.
Yeah, and Neil is the stay-at-home dad with like 5 kids and like holding down the fort, and I think that would be an awesome sitcom basis.
Yeah. Okay. So scratch everything I just said and let's just do that. That sounds great.
Okay.
No, I forgot that I said that. And I was sort of just thinking right after college, but you know what? Like if you go 10 years, that is the show.
Yeah.
There's like, yeah.
I did have
Put
a
it on
question.
HBO, win some awards. Why not?
Yeah, it'd be great.
I'm up for it.
Community Discourse with Evil Annie.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna ask, like, what do you think Vicki is up to after she graduates from Greendale, within the 10-year period?
I really think that she goes on a, this is what I think. I think she is the quintessential, I think she's a feminist, and I think even though she's a people pleaser, and I think she starts to find herself through working. So I think she probably has some like really shitty assistant job, and she has to work her way up the ladder because she's this sort of like people pleasing person. And she realizes, wait a minute, I'm actually a lot smarter and I got some things that I can offer. And I think she seriously moves up and has some grandiose idea. Don't ask me what that is. And then she becomes CEO, or I mean, it doesn't have to be that big. It could just be like she has her own business or whatever it is, and she is sort of thriving. It becomes maybe a mom or not. That is what I see happening with her. But and I also think she does some traveling in there.
Bill Gates retires from Microsoft. She's the CEO of Microsoft.
Okay, fine. I love that idea. Yeah. I mean, let's go big. Go big or go home.
Why not?
Nice.
So we've got some really cool podcasts on here, Danielle. One of them is as far as we know, the only Spanish community podcast. So Miguel and Diego, do you guys have something you guys want to ask?
Yeah, hi Danielle. Yes, actually, to our knowledge, we are also the only Spanish-speaking podcast community. So we're the best one around.
Oh yeah.
We like to say that on each episode, the best Spanish podcast
that we know of.
Yeah.
That you know of. That's very humble of you, actually.
Yeah, we know. Now, first of all, Danielle, thank you very much for sharing this time with us. It's very kind of you. And I think that, well, are we okay with the question?
Absolutely.
Do we agree?
We concur.
We concur. Okay. No. As implied on the season 6 episode, Basic Email Security. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's like this micro scene where it's implied that maybe, just maybe, Vicki could be the lunch lady's daughter. Have you heard about that theory?
Oh God. I haven't, but
Miguel is sharing with you the screen.
I'm trying to. The technology is winning me.
But you know, it's just that there is this screen of the lunch lady's emails, and you can see every person that has emailed her, and there's one email from Vicki, and it says your daughter misses you. So maybe we thought that there could be a story behind that, and or maybe not.
Well,
but it's one of those random things that community likes to do,
Yes, and unfortunately, even though I did watch the show when it was going on, and because I was on it, I was a fan as well, but I don't remember that. Did people come on and say they don't remember things?
Yes, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't remember.
It has been a lot of years, yeah.
Yeah, but sorry, I don't.
We know
if you want to ask a different question that I do remember, I'd be happy to take it.
Yeah, that's a very specific one.
I know.
Yeah, well, we have a more broad one, maybe
go
more
ahead.
hypothetical one. What happened with the Garrett Vicky show?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yes.
What happened with it? Well,
Maybe you went on tour?
I don't think so. I think
Come on, they
Vicky
were
was
stars.
like, Garrett is too crazy and too controlling and weird, and I'm not going.
The audience
People
kind of
told you
turned
that.
on them in
Yeah,
that
everybody
episode
sounds
too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
But you
worked
made them
really
feel
hard on
something.
it, but
Andy Kaufman loves it when you booed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the booing is we'd rather you boo, right? Or something like that. Yeah, I think I don't want to disappoint, but I really think that it didn't go anywhere. I think
It
that
was
was
just
it.
a phase.
It was a phase.
Yeah.
Total phase.
That actually reminds me, Vicky's mom is in that
Is there.
scene, right?
Yes.
So we know it's not the lunch lady to answer that question.
You're right.
Oh, you're right. You're
That's
right.
that's an error. Yeah.
Do your
It's
research.
clearly in the email. Spelled correctly.
Or maybe the lunch lady's name is Connie. Did they ever say the lunch lady's name? I don't know.
Good point.
Did they ever confirm that, or it was just a theory at one point?
No, it was a theory. It was on Reddit.
It's
Gotcha.
just a short shot of the emails from the lunch lady, and it has one from Vicky, and the name is spelled correctly, and it's from your daughter. So that's the whole and some of it.
That said, we've never seen Vicky's mom and the lunch lady in the same room, so I'm willing to keep this theory going. Tinfoil hats affixed.
It's an open theory, right?
I like it. I like it. All right. Keeping things moving. We got an interesting one. Alex from the Story of Community. He's actually doing a little bit different kind of podcast. Alex, why don't you tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, so the way I TLDR it is it's sort of an oral history of the behind the scenes of Community. So it's scripted. It's kind of just like going over all the drama for people who are just catching up on Netflix and don't really get the experience, like me, sort of, who didn't really get the experience of kind of watching it as it aired, because there was obviously a reason that everyone became so invested, and that often goes beyond the actual on-screen product. Anyway, that's who cares on me.
Wait a minute. No. That's very interesting. So the behind the scenes, like what really was happening behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like all the real drama.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Good idea.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Obviously, we're all really excited to have you here.
Oh, thanks. It's my pleasure, really.
I'm going to admit, I kind of stole this from Matt's document, but what was a day like for you on set?
So I loved being on set at Community, and it was one of those things where you would sort of open the bag of M&Ms and you would never know what color M&M you were going to pull out. It was just sort of like, that was how it was. So for the most part, it was for me an incredibly enjoyable experience, because I felt really a part of the Community family. I was there a lot. What was that?
Adam is dying.
Oh, it's a kid.
Don't
Is
worry
it a
about
baby?
it. I'm out in the woods. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it only sounded like screaming children.
If it was a screaming child, I should have recognized
In the
it.
woods, don't
not
worry
a whole
about it.
group.
Doesn't make me feel better.
Okay, this is the part where, as Adam's lawyer, I step in and remind everyone that he is on a tour of the national parks in the country. So,
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's not like a murder going on.
it's
I
very
think we're
typical
good.
for Adam
Would
to
you
be in
admit that there's a
national
murder
park,
happening in the background? Though?
with
Like, would
random
you?
noises.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no.
All right.
I mean, no, but I mean, and that's dark, but still, I mean, it sounded a little, anyway, we'll move on.
Go ahead.
Adam called me from a payphone the other day. Did you guys have payphones on the set of Community?
We didn't. Everyone had their cell phone, that was for sure. So I was always part of the family, and I felt like it was when I got to go, I was like, I'm going to spend the day with my friends, and it was really fun. It could get real stressful and long. I'm sure you've heard. It was long hours. Sometimes we were there. I told Alex, I think on the podcast, that sometimes you'd hit 17 hours, and the cast was like, get us the fuck home. But we were like, no, one more hour and then we'll hit golden time, which means you get paid your day rate every hour. So we were like, don't, we wanted to keep it going because we were like, make the money. But anyway, no, I mean, I had a great time. I was very close with Charlie, and I was close with Luke, who played Magnitude, and I was close with Yvette, who played, obviously you guys know Yvette. But they were all wonderful. I mean, really wonderful people. And there were a lot of crazy outbursts on the set by he who shall not be named. And it was sometimes very stressful, and it would be late and people would be tired. But for me, it was a very enjoyable experience. I never felt like anything but happy to be there, to be completely honest with you.
You still keep in touch with those guys?
I do. I mean, yes, I could. I mean, Charlie and I are friends on social media, and we always comment on each other or whatever. Luke and I are good friends. We text, and he's been so busy lately. He's working so much. It's so great. And Yvette and I have always remained friends, especially, I would say that everything is sort of this. It used to be Yvette and I would meet and have coffee or whatever, but I mean, things get crazy, and I'm on the East Coast right now. I don't know for how long. So I haven't, and obviously we had COVID, so nobody's seeing anybody for a while. Weren't seeing anybody for a while, but yeah, no, I would say that, and I would run into Jim all the time at I ran into him all the time at Jones on 3rd, which is this like place in LA that you can eat food, and they have great coffee, and it's like a little pricey but delicious. I would run into him there all the time, and just trying to think. I mean, I feel like they're friends, and anytime I would see it, I'm still friends with some of the well, two of my very close friends were writers on the show. Steve Baslun and Annie Mebin they're two of my nearest and dearest friends. So they, I mean, I see them all the time, or at least we're in touch all the time, because they were my friends before they were ever even on Community.
I just talked to Steve. He was awesome.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he was so great.
He's
just has
truly the greatest.
Yeah, he has a movie coming out.
Oh yeah.
Long Weekends. Great
Exciting.
movie. Yeah, it's great, very great.
I know I haven't gotten to see it yet because it was only in theaters and it wasn't playing where I am, but next week I'm ready to go.
Yep. That's when his episode's dropping. So
yeah.
So
cool.
But I have actually, since we're talking about it, I have something to share because someone shared something with me. Can you guys see this?
Hello, all of the Community podcasters. How are you? This is Charlie Kuntz. You might know me as Duquesne of Clan Duquesne, real name with pipes of steel. You know, the whole bit. I'm just dropping by to say hello because I hear that you are all going to be having a little chat with the wonderful Danielle Kaplowitz of Vicki fame. So say hello to her for me. All the love, big, big love for all of you. Thank you, as always, for spreading the good community word, and the fan interaction's been unbelievable and really ticked up since you guys have started doing what you're doing. So I really, really appreciate it. Enjoy your chat with Danielle. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but she always has my heart. So hello, Danielle. Aww. And yeah, have fun, guys. Cheers.
Aww, Charlie.
Here's Charlie.
That's really awesome that he made that.
Yeah. So sweet. I know we spent a lot of hours hanging out, so we're buds. And also, I've never been to his house, but he has some of the coolest shit in his backgrounds all the time. I'm like, where did you get that? It looks like he goes antiquing or something
Yeah.
cool. Like he finds
Must own a Honda.
Nice.
That was really sweet. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. All right. So we've got Mike from Cool Abed's Film Pod. Mike does a podcast where he watches all of the movies that Abed references and Community references in like with different things, and then talks about how it relates to Community itself. So he and I did an episode about Die Hard to talk about modern warfare and that kind of thing. So it's really cool. So Mike, do you have any questions?
I do. So, we never got to see Vicky's origin in the Heroic Origins episode. What do you think? Why did Vicky end up at Greendale? What's her origin?
Oh, I think that she had a situation where she was not great in a subject. I'm going to say math. And I think that she did great in all the other subjects, but she could not get that math grade up. And so she ended up at community college. But then I think she did figure out a way to get it up, get her grades up. But I think she decided to stay because she was having such a fun relationship with Neil. And I think she became obsessed with the study group a little bit and trying to infiltrate. And so I just think she stayed. That's what I think.
Awesome. Any other
Also,
questions, Mike?
by the way, Danny Pudi is the greatest person of all time. Also, like he's the nicest of all time.
I had my other imagined question is like, what do you think their first date was?
Neil and Vicky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I think Neil. Okay, so I think maybe he picked her up. And he definitely did like a picnic, like it was like a picnic situation. And he like picked her up and had a picnic basket, but it wasn't like that great. It was like maybe just like some sandwiches wrapped in tin foil, some Snapple, some like weird drink that like was cool in the 90s. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. And so maybe some like, I don't know, Cape Cod potato chips. They went and they just like sat on a blanket in the park and probably had some seriously weird, awkward silences and ate a sandwich looking at each other strangely. And then maybe they got on a subject that they really were interested in, probably something to do with like movies. I'm thinking like in the entertainment realm. And that was it. And I'm thinking that maybe neither of them had any boyfriend or girlfriend before that. So that was their first, that may have been their first romantic experience.
Yeah, Neil strikes me as his aspirations, his romantic aspirations might be higher than his ability to like cook.
Totally. I think he is a total romantic and tries really hard, but like, I mean, I think she thinks it's great though. I don't think Vicky has any problem with like his weird foil wrapped sandwiches. I just think she thinks it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think. Drinking my weird water bottle again.
Grant, you want to ask any questions? Grant is from the Much About podcast. Yes. I want to introduce you as the youngest podcaster because I don't want to like sell you short because you do a great podcast. I was on the podcast. Do you have any questions?
So you mentioned that you feel like that Neil and Vicky and Magnitude all could have had like their own web series spinoff.
I think so. Am I the only one who thinks that?
I mean, I could see it. Do you think they had like a separate study group? Like we know there were multiple. Do you think that could have been a show?
I think that absolutely if there was a web series that they would be sort of like this the kind of how it was wasn't it the last episode where they were the study group and it was kind of like a little depressing. I think it was that. It was sort of like okay. Well, we want to be in that close, so we'll just settle for this study group. And I think that all of them in some way were trying to get into the better, not really get into the better one, but they just wish that they were the better one.
Like a minor league study group type thing.
Totally minor league. Thank you. That's the perfect way to describe it. The minor leagues. 100%.
Awesome. We have Adam and Dave from Apartment 303 podcast. So, you guys have any questions?
Yeah, you had mentioned.
Yeah.
Adam, you can go first.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Now that there's not children screaming here, it's a good time for me to talk.
So that's what I figured.
You've got them muffled now.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Oh, well, yeah, my husband's
so-
also getting ice and it's really loud.
Got dark
Okay,
real
he's
quick
like,
there.
Sorry.
So we've talked a lot about a lot of questions I had written down. So thanks for taking the time to answer these, of course. But I think that maybe the most incredible deleted scene features Vicki. And I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about. It takes place, the camera footage in Shirley's Sandwiches, and where
We
does
make
everyone know
out?
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys
and there's a
have
line
that?
of dialogue.
It's on the internet.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
Oh yeah.
What the F?
Adam,
Sorry.
I know you're on the phone, but she looks mortified right now.
Where
Oh
is it?
boy.
It's a deleted scene from that season.
I have to see
It's
that.
it's on the
They
internet.
they put that on like out?
Yeah.
Or somebody
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's on the
I mean, I'm
disc.
fine with it. Obviously, I did it thinking it was gonna be on television, but like, I just truly can't believe that it exists. Why am I so naive? Okay, yeah, we did that.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, I think that's highlighted a lot of what we talked about earlier with Neil as the romantic, because I think there's a line of dialogue where you tell him to cut the foreplay and he says he's not a machine, which again,
Forgot about
if
that.
that had gotten on network television, that would have just been incredible. And Community
I
slid a
agree.
lot of things like that in there, but I just wanted to know if that was a favorite memory of yours, or if you had something else that you enjoyed more than that.
Well, okay. That was so I remember us both, we were good friends at that point, like worked together plenty of times, but I remember us being a little nervous about that. Not like to the point where we weren't gonna do it, but we were just like, okay, we're doing this. It was actually fine. I think we had to do it 2 or 3 times. I can't believe it exists and that people have seen it. I actually always wanted to kind of see it, but not really. But like, I always wanted to, like, I was like mortified over it when it got, not mortified. That's not the right word. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh, I guess it'll be on TV. It'll be fine. But then when it wasn't, I wasn't sad. I was like, okay.
You're right.
Like, I can't explain it. But what do you want to know about it?
Oh yeah, I just that's a highlight of amongst all of the deleted scenes for us in the fandom. Did you have any other scenes that didn't make it that you were really proud of, or just any other scenes that you were in that you really look back fondly and think, boy, that was an especially great time?
Oh, I mean, I always talk about like my favorite episode to film that I had the most fun on, even though it was super cray, like really crazy, was Paintball of the second season. It was crazy times when that was all going on and for lots of different reasons, but I had so much fun filming that because I feel like they gave me some great things to do. Some of the iconic things from that episode, with like just dancing on the table. I don't mean to call myself iconic. That's not what I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, they're just memorable moments for Vicki for sure. So
No, but you are iconic though.
Yeah, you
Oh,
are.
well,
I gotta tell you. so.
We know what you mean. Consider the audience you're talking to.
We knew there was footage of you making out with Charlie, so yeah, we got it.
I'm like in shock over it.
It's in the chat now. There's a link to the deleted scene.
You found the makeout footage?
It's the community season for
Let
deleted
me
scene
cut and
2. It's
paste
like 3
that.
minutes into it.
I need to.
Well, it's about 2 minutes into it. Yeah.
Wait, I gotta save that for later. I don't.
We-
I wish I was more
promised.
technical. You guys are all I feel like very technically savvy, and I am not.
We spent 15 minutes talking to each other to solve technical problems before we started. So
And this
Okay.
is how Danielle hung up on all of us on
Oh my
accident.
God, I totally did. Wait, did I? Am I still on there?
we can still see you. You're fine.
Oh, okay. I can't see anybody. There I go. Okay. Incredible. So yeah, that was my absolute favorite to film. And I think the episode is really great. The 2 episodes, it's 2 episodes, right?
Yeah.
1 and 2. Yeah.
Yep.
They're really great. And I feel like I was there every single day. And that was when I really felt just like, oh my God, it was a blast, truly a blast for me.
Dave here from apartment 303. You mentioned the long hours on the set and having a lot of fun, behind the scenes with your coworkers. Are there any particular scenes that come to mind that either you wish you could redo, notwithstanding the one you just found out about and haven't rewatched yet, or also maybe even a scene that you remember having specifically to redo just an obnoxious amount of times to get what you needed?
So here's the thing about being a character that comes on every now and again, a recurring character. You just professional wise, you can't hold anything up. So if you don't do your thing and do it quickly and do it well, then, they're not going to bring you back again and again and again. So I'm not going to say, I think I came with a job to do and I would fulfill that job. And so to me, it was like, okay, that was fine. But I do remember that, what is this? Sorry, you guys would know the episode with the Germans, the protesting one.
The German Invasion season 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
German Invasion, right. I do remember that I had a little, and they may have even cut some of my lines, but I had a decent chunk for me. And not that I can't handle that, but I had to say my lines to all of them. So they were all facing me as I was saying it. Now, when they flip around and you're saying it, a lot of times, the cameras are at you. So they're just like off to the side, maybe giving you off camera lines. But my point is that when I was just saying the lines to them, I was just sort of looking at all of them. And obviously I wasn't on camera, but I felt so nervous in that moment, even though I had already been on the show many, many times. And I remember flubbing a few times and being like, oh God, am I going to fuck this up? Sorry. But am I going to mess this up in the middle of the scene? And and I remember Yvette, she may remember this. She was like, you got this. You got this. And I was like, I got this. And then I was like, fine. But I remember I was like, it wasn't that I was nervous. It was just that like, they were all just staring at me. And I was like, oh shit, I have to say this like bunch of stuff in a row and I really can't fuck it up. And I've got all these people looking at me. I don't know. For some reason, it really just messed with my head that day. So I remember not feeling 100% confident with what I did, but then I actually really like how it came out. So it ended up being fine, but I don't know if that gives you.
No, that's an interesting story. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Sure.
Awesome. Ed and Bo from Save Greendale Committee, you guys kind of asked some questions, but I wanted to give you a chance to follow up.
Yeah, so we're actually doing, I believe, your first episode on our show this weekend, the Intro to Politics, where you get up on that debate stage. So we mentioned, I think we called him Hugh Will Not Be Named or whatever earlier. So that's a big storyline and a big person to act against for your first appearance. So what was that like? And also, I'm just personally curious, was there ever any discussion about filming a scene where you jammed the pencil through his face?
No, there never.
Okay.
No, there wasn't ever a discussion about that. And I wished that there was. No, there was never a discussion about that. But that was my first episode of the show. And like I said, I mean, if I was like a little nervous during that German invasion scene, like times it by 5 billion. I was so nervous because I had just gotten the call that I was going to be on it. And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh my God. And the scenes with Chevy. And I was like, oh my God, this is just I mean, it's Chevy Chase at the end of the day. And I was like, I just really can't believe that this is what I have to do. And obviously, thank God I didn't have to say very much in that episode. It was just a lot of looks and reactions and just whatever. But yeah, it was one of those moments where you sort of like fake it till you make it. I was like, I'm just gonna pretend that I got this and hopefully that'll come across. And it was fine. And then when they called again after that to come back again, I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then after I came back the second time, I was just like, wait, you gotta be kidding me. They're gonna keep calling. I don't understand what's happening. So yes, that was very nerve-wracking. Chevy obviously has a reputation that precedes him for many reasons, being who he is and then also being who he is. So there was a bunch of stuff that I was thinking about in that moment, but it ended up being fine. And he was actually great to work with in that scene. And I mean, he was truly just himself, and he was just like said what he said, and I gave him a look, and that was it. It was good. It ended up being good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
And just sorry, this might be a far-fetched one, but the Russos have a lot of who would you want to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I'm just going to cut to the chase. This is a me question. I apologize, but it's possible. We've seen a lot of community members in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's kind of the big thing. So just
oh my God, I'm
pipe
so
dream,
bad at these kind of questions, but I don't want to be bad at them. Wait, this is going to be a really stupid question. Don't be mad at me. Okay. I feel like you guys are going to hang up and be like, she's the worst.
She's just trying to do her best.
But I got nothing. Can you tell me what you would want?
I mean, my hope with that, it's, we go in, whatever, it's a secret Russo movie, it's in the Marvel Cinematic, and then it's just the movie, it's the community movie. Like that's my dream.
Oh, you
and then
okay?
At the end,
To be Vicki would be great. That would be our
Mhm.
favorite character. Could you play Vicki in a movie with the Russo brothers directing? That would be easily my favorite.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, like, if they did, okay, I think I a little bit misunderstood the question, but I think that would be so fucking cool. And also, I would definitely want to be in a Russo brothers movie, community themed or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, if I think about it, if she's a superhero, or whatever, I see her just sort of like in her ridiculous Western costume that she wore in Paintball, tattered and torn, and having been through the mill, and then all of a sudden figured out that she's got some sort of, I don't know, backbone, and then she goes and saves the day. I'm not sure, but that's sort of what I'm seeing. But I don't claim to be good at these.
All right, I think I went through the whole list. If I didn't, anyone have any follow-up questions?
Do you have a favorite community episode?
I do. What is my favorite community? I mean, I love the Law and Order episode, and I love David, who played Todd. That scene, when we filmed that scene, and he goes, "No, you zip it, Uncle Nobby." You don't know how many times. I think he had to do it a lot. We were dying. I mean, like, people couldn't keep a straight face during that. It was so ridiculous. The whole thing was so ridiculous. And we were just like, what is happening? I was just like, in the scene, I don't know why. I don't think you could see me when he's saying that, but I was just like, oh my God, don't laugh, because it was too much. But that episode is so good. It is so true to Law and Order, the music, everything. Michael K. Williams is amazing in that episode, and Joel is ridiculous in that episode. That is my favorite, I think, out of all of them.
It's my favorite too. So
yay!
That's awesome. And also, what is your favorite Marvel character? I know I kind of came up with this while we were talking about who would you play? I guess who would Vicki play?
Who would I play, or who's my
No,
favorite
like who?
Marvel
But who's
character?
your favorite like Marvel superhero? I guess, or supervillain, whoever. Just like in general.
I mean, is it so cliche to say that my favorite Marvel? Okay, I mean, Spider-Man is my favorite.
Spider-Man. Oh
Is
yeah.
that lame? I love the Spider-Man movies.
No, it's not lame.
And
it's
I
good,
love
yeah.
this Into the Spider-Verse. That's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Sorry. I love that movie. My son and I have watched it like 50 times. We love it.
It's a
Did
great
you
movie.
did
It
you
is
see the
very
Troy
rewatchable.
reference
Yeah.
in it?
Did I see what?
The Troy reference in it? Did you see the Troy reference in Into the Spider-Verse?
It's more than a reference. It's like
It's
a
a
full
cameo.
cameo.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like a frame from
yes.
Community. Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I love I mean, I love the original, not the original, but the one. I love the
Toby.
Tobey Maguire
Yeah,
one.
Toby's good.
Yeah.
Love that one. That's my favorite one, actually. Is that well? And Into the Spider-Verse is great.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So, out of the study group, who do you think Vicki would have like got along with best, or would have had like a really good adventure with?
Joel, 100%. I actually think that she like secretly, I don't know if it was like a love romantic thing, but she was like a little like obsessed with him.
Move over, Jeff Annie. We have Jeff X Vicky in the house.
Totally. I think she like the fact
Somebody
that
write a
like,
fan fiction.
he was coming to her
think we
Halloween
are.
party was
All right,
probably
guys.
very exciting to her because she was into people in like a powerful position. He seemed to sort of be in that powerful position. I think she was a little obsessed with Jeff, to be honest.
Oh, I'm gonna
All right,
look for
you
that
check it,
now and
guys.
see if I can see that. Like,
What's that?
yeah, I'm gonna look for that.
All right. Any other questions?
I have one.
Oh.
I remember reading, Danielle, that you loved working on the episode with Taron Killian.
Taryn was so funny when he was doing that episode. And I remember just like feeling like a fan in that moment. Just like I was on set for that's a part that did get cut. I had like I had a big thing in that. Not a big thing, but just like a thing backstage that got cut. But I was there a lot. And I actually really liked that episode. And I also thought that he was just unbelievable. And he was improvising. Don't ask me about what, but he just did some really great stuff. And I remember just like loving it. I felt very entertained while being on the set. I was just like, oh, this is so funny. It was great. He's very, very talented.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Adam here from Apartment 303. Supposing there is a movie, and supposing that Vicki is cast into the movie, can you think of anyone who you would like to make a cameo, an actor that has not previously been on this show, who might be really fun to work with?
I mean, my dream in life is to work with Jerry Seinfeld, but but I don't know if he would fit into Community. Although it would be so funny if he just showed up and just was like, "What's the deal with this?" But also, I mean, I think that would be my favorite, my most exciting person to show up, or Bette Midler.
You guys
Jerry
do
would
like
have
a
to come
duet?
on playing a Jerry Seinfeld impersonator.
Who
But
is?
actually, Jerry Seinfeld would have to come onto the Community movie playing a Jerry Seinfeld impersonator, but actually being Jerry Seinfeld.
Sweet, that's genius. Pitch it. That's great.
We could go a step further. We could get Bette Midler on as a Jerry Seinfeld impersonator being coached by Jerry Seinfeld.
What? That is so good. That's perfect.
It doesn't have to
Perfect.
make sense. We could just do the damn movie, Dan.
Oh my God,
That's
I
all.
wish they would do the movie. It would be so much fun.
Can you blink twice if you've been contacted about making a movie?
Nope.
No.
Danielle, I don't want to take up too much of your night. So if we have any last questions, let's fit them in and otherwise, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, really. Thank you guys for being the greatest fans of all time. You guys are tried and true. And it's really, really, I mean, it's just so special it was such a special time and place in my life. And it's just so special that there's a whole new group of people who are getting involved with the show and love the show. And I just feel like you give so much to us that I feel so happy to give whatever I can to you. I can't even believe somebody even wants to hear what I say. I have nothing, to offer, I feel like, with this, but I'm very grateful for all of you always, and I have always been. So thank you.
Yeah. Room for one last question.
Jasmine from Discourse. I did have a question where, and first I just wanted to say thank you. I didn't get to say thank you earlier.
Sure.
But if there was like some kind of reboot or like a remake, would you be interested in coming back on to playing like kind of like a character on there, or as like Vicki?
If they
but, like,
rebooted
later on?
Community?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah, that would be a gift, truly. So, for the people who are working actors and always have to, I've never been a series regular. I was in a pilot once that didn't end up going, but that's sort of always the dream. But it's like, you just want to work. You just want to work and be creative and have a fun time and meet good people and feed your family. And so all of those things go into wanting to do any sort of project. So I would be super into it. And I mean, if all these people are making reunions, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We should
I know,
Let's do it.
I
Awesome.
think so.
Well, Danielle Kaplowitz, thank you so much for being our beloved guest, and thank you for being our beloved Vicki. And we hope that we can chat with you again sometime soon about the movie and all the things that are coming. That would be wonderful.
That would be so great. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Really
Thank you very
appreciate
much,
it.
Danielle.
Bye,
Muchas
Danielle.
gracias.
Bye, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle.
Bye,
Take good
guys.
care. Bye bye.
You.
Thank you.